My name is Gordon Wilkins. I'm the Robert M. Walker Curator of American Art here at the Addison Gallery of American Art, which is a academic museum that's on the campus of Phillips Academy in Andover, Massachusetts. We're unique in that we're a museum dedicated to American art. We were founded in 1931 and have been serving the Andover and broader community for almost 95 years. We were fortunate enough to have our remarkable copy of Eadweard Muybridge's Attitudes of Animals in Motion conserved at the Northeast Document Conservation Center just down the street in Andover. And so for us, something that we have been keenly aware of was the unfortunate state of Attitudes of Animals in Motion in our collection. We've had the album for 40 years now. We do know that it was not in perfect condition when we acquired it. I think eager use from us exacerbated the condition. It was last lent about 10, 15 years ago and has not been on exhibit since then because the text block was completely separated from the binding. The binding was in terrible condition. It was simply not safe to handle this work. This is an artist who bridged art and science. We are on the campus of a high school, and we really take our our position as a museum located within a very robust, vibrant teaching institution very seriously, and we take the interdisciplinary inquiry that takes place inside the classrooms of Phillips Academy and bring that same spirit to bear on all of our programming. So we are really interested in objects that span different disciplines, and this is sort of one of the the key examples of that in practice, where this is equally important on a scientific level and on an aesthetic level. And so it's also notable there are very few copies of this album in existence, but one of the few copies is in the collection of the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences. So it is seen as this keystone work in cinema history, even though it might seem, I think, to contemporary audiences, to see 80 plus photographs of a horse galloping, maybe not the most exciting subject matter by today's standards, but it is this incredible document that captures this moment of scientific breakthrough that would have profound impacts on human history and still informs a lot of the issues that we deal with today, or the technologies that we consume today. On top of having the Attitudes of Animals in Motion, this incredibly rare bound volume, we have all 781 plates from Eadweard Muybridge's Animal Locomotion. So this book, Attitudes of Animals in Motion, laid the foundation for what Muybridge would then go on to do in Philadelphia. It's a remarkable and really important body of work that has been widely published, as has the Attitudes of Animals in Motion, and has provided a great deal of important inspiration to artists. So you really cannot separate Muybridge from really our contemporary moment in any way, and in particular our contemporary art moment, because really any figurative artist, any artist who is engaged with documenting figures in motion since the 1870s has in some way been engaged with the work that Muybridge was doing. From Marcel Duchamp, The Nude Descending the Staircase, which is very clearly referencing the photographic studies of Muybridge, to people like Kerry James Marshall, who is perhaps one of the most important living American painters. He actually gave the Addison an incredibly generous donation to support conservation. We thought, as an artist who's working in the figurative tradition, an artist who, in some cases, is very explicitly riffing on themes that you see in Muybridge's work, we thought it would be a kind of a beautiful testament to this sort of continuity of artists across time, these conversations that can be had between a 19th century British American artist and a 20th century African American artist. And that there are these amazing stories, these amazing points of continuity across the collection. And I think our decision to really utilize this incredible funding from Kerry James Marshall to support the conservation of this specific object is really telling and quite poetic. Today, we are so accustomed to being able to see things like this. We look, the Olympics are going on. We're used to seeing these instant replays where you can actually break down, figure skaters triple axel and see millisecond by millisecond by millisecond by millisecond. That technology did not exist in the 1870s when Muybridge was inventing the technology. And so, really the major goal of this was not just to have the object look more aesthetically presentable, which of course it very much does now. It was to allow it to be utilized. our collections are utilized, of course, within reason, but they are, I think, more utilized than other institutions, and that we are constantly teaching with our collection. We are constantly rotating our collections. And so to have the albums in such a stable condition now that it can be, in theory, under close supervision, of course, utilized in classes is really a dream come true. And I can imagine we constantly bring physics classes in to work with Muybridge material, and I can imagine the next round of physics students will really be excited and certainly benefit from the inclusion of this work, which had before now been inaccessible to them.